They only started looking for me when I finally stopped needing them. It had been 2 years. 2 years since I walked out with nothing but a small bag and a heart full of everything I was never allowed to say. At first, it was hard, sleeping in places no child should ever sleep, working small jobs just to eat. But for the first time in my life, no one called me a mistake, and slowly, I began to change. A kind woman who owned a small food stall noticed me one night, shivering behind her shop. She didn't ask questions. She just said, "If you're hungry, come help me." That was the first time someone saw me and didn't look away. Years passed. I went back to school, worked during the day, studied at night. And for the first time, I started believing something I never dared to before. Maybe I wasn't the problem. Maybe I was just never given a chance. At 18, I stood on a stage, holding an award for top student in my district. The same child they called useless was now the one everyone was clapping for. But in the crowd, I saw them, my family, older, quieter, different. My mother's eyes were already filled with tears before I even spoke. My hands trembled as I stepped toward the microphone. I had imagined this moment so many times. What I would say, how I would finally make them feel the pain they gave me. But when I looked at them, I didn't see anger anymore. I saw regret and something else. Loss. I took a deep breath and said softly, "I used to think I wasn't enough." Because that's all I was ever told. The room went silent. But I learned something. Sometimes, the place that's supposed to love you the most can hurt you the deepest. My mother broke down, covering her face, and still, I continued, my voice shaking. I chose not to become that pain. Tears rolled down my face because I deserved better, even if I had to give it to myself. For a moment, no one moved. Then, slowly, the entire room stood up. Applause filled the air, not just for my success, but for my survival. After the ceremony, my parents walked toward me carefully, like they were afraid I would disappear again. "I'm sorry," my father whispered, his voice breaking in a way I had never heard before. My mother couldn't even speak. She just held onto my hand like she was afraid to lose it. And in that moment, I realized something powerful. Forgiveness wasn't about them. It was about me. Finally being free. I didn't forget what they did, but I also didn't let it define who I became. Because the most hated child in the family didn't become broken, didn't become bitter. That child became everything they said they never would. And finally, I was no longer the child they blamed. I was the one who proved them wrong. Kindly subscribe so you don't miss our next story.